trend's helping you, the trends will do a lot of work for you. We say the trend is your friend. It really is. And so the first question to ask yourself when you're trying to identify a business is to say, where is the money flowing in the economy now? And where will the money continue to flow in the future? Because we're not looking for a fad. Fads are too short in duration. You can't build your future on a fad. What you want is you want long-term, sustainable trends that last for multiple decades. And they're predictable. And if you can find something like that, then that's something you can grab onto and build a future around that kind of projected future growth, right? So what's the trend Nu Skin is chasing? It's the anti-aging movement, right? And the anti-aging movement is booming all over the world today. People want to live better longer and look better longer. As an anti-aging company, you would imagine we've done a lot of research about aging. We've researched the attitudes people have about getting older. Guess what we've discovered? People don't necessarily mind getting older. What they mind is getting ugly. That's what they don't like about getting old. And so if you didn't have to get ugly, you wouldn't mind getting old so bad, right? You don't have to get ugly, right? That's where Nu Skin steps in. So here's a company that's on the cutting edge of anti-aging research and science. A company that literally can help people live better longer and look better longer. And we do it both inside and out. And so we can take care of all these different areas: skin, body, health, energy, all these things. This market will be $1 trillion in the next 12 years. I mean, you stop and think about that. That is enormous, enormous market size, right? Okay, why is that market growing? Okay, there's a group of people called the baby boomers. And all I'm going to tell you is this. Right now in the United States, every 12 seconds somebody turns 65 years of age. Every 12 seconds. And that will happen every 12 seconds in my country for the next 20 years in a row. Now, it's not just happening in the United States, guys. When World War II ended, daddies went home all over the world. And the next year, the babies arrived. That was the start of the boom, right? Are you aware there's 350 million boomers globally? Are you aware that every 2.5 seconds, somebody turns 65 on this planet? Every 2.5 seconds. And that will happen every 2.5 seconds for the next 20 years straight. Okay, this isn't like, something I'm hoping will happen, folks. This is fact. This is already in motion. It doesn't matter what you think about it. It's already happening right now. And a lot of people are starting to see that and saying, all right, I want to participate in this aging of the world population. I want to help them live better longer, look better longer. And there's an enormous opportunity for people that can tap into that and do it. So you have two choices. You can either go build your own anti-aging company. All right, good luck. Go raise the money and come up with the ideas and do your whole thing and try to attach yourself to this booming marketplace that we're addressing. Or you can join Nu Skin. And I'm just going to tell you right now that if you think you're going to go compete with us, we will destroy you. You will not compete. You can't compete. We're too far ahead. We're moving too fast. We got too many people working on this every single day. We are now at a critical size in this company that everybody comes to us with their anti-aging breakthroughs. They know we can give them global distribution. Okay, so it's a powerful position to be in, and it's something that you ought to be part of. Next slide. All right, let's shift now. Let's talk about products and science. So we've done company, we've done market trends. I hope you got notes on both of those. We're on point number 3 now. We'll talk about products and science. I'll spend a little more time on this one. Nu Skin has 3 big laboratories in the world. One in Shanghai, one in Provo, Utah, and one in Wisconsin, the state of Wisconsin in the U.S. And the reason we have a lab in Wisconsin is because of an acquisition we made 4 years ago of a company called LifeGen Technologies. They had some very unique genetic research that they had done and genetic databases that they had developed. And we decided, after being in partnership with them, that it was too powerful, that we needed to actually own them. And so we bought that company 4 years ago. And all we do right now, guys, at Wisconsin and Provo and Shanghai, we have 80 full-time scientists. And all they do every day is push the envelope of anti-aging. That's what they do. That's what they're looking for. The next thing, the new breakthroughs. And we have a pipeline of products lined up clear to the year 2020 of things that are going to make a difference in how people live longer, live better longer, and look better longer. So a little bit of our team here of scientists and what they're focused on. Let's go to the next slide. Okay. If Nu Skin does not invent the breakthrough internally, they're not opposed to buying the technology outside. And this is a slide of just some of the scientific assets that Nu Skin has gone outside and acquired. Okay? So you can see Pharmanex paid $130 million for that, and that's become the foundation of our Nu Skin nutritional line. Knox Technologies, a company in Pennsylvania. Nu Skin bought that company 2 years ago. They have some very unique molecules that slow down the wrinkling process of human skin. And those are not yet in any Nu Skin products. They'll come out in the future. And you'll love them when they come out, okay? And then LifeGen with their amazing age-lock technology that is propelling the growth of Nu Skin right now, and of course the biophotonic scanner. You know, Nu Skin has invested more than $100 million in that technology and owns all the patents related to measuring antioxidants in living human tissue in real time. Nobody else in the world can do that. And we own that technology. It's amazing. How many here have been scanned by the biophotonic scanner? Wow, look at that, almost the whole room. Fantastic, right? So the goal is to get your score in the blue, right? 50,000 or more is the objective. And if you get your score that high and keep it there the rest of your life, you're going to be healthier. How do we know that? Because we've done the research, folks. I don't know if you're aware there's a urine test you can do that measures the amount of free radical damage coming out of your body. It's true. And Nu Skin has done those tests. And what we've learned is that if you have a really low score on the scanner, you got really high damage coming out of your body. And we know that if you got a really high score on the scanner, you got really low damage coming out of your body. You want to slow down free radical damage because it's one of the aging processes that your body goes through, right? The less hits you can take, the better off you're going to be long term. And so that's why we encourage people to get on these products and let us prove to you that having that high score will help you to be healthier and live better longer. And that's exactly what the biophotonic scanner is all about. Today, the scanner has now measured more than 18 million people globally. Nu Skin now has the largest nutritional database in the world. Nu Skin is mining that data to learn more and more about human nutrition. And we know more about human nutrition than pretty much any other organization on the planet. And that allows us to make better products. And soon, we'll be able to avail ourselves of another product called ageLOC Youth, or Youth Span, as people have known that. And that'll be coming out in the next year. And that'll be a significant upgrade to products we already have based on a lot of learning, a lot of ageLOC science, and a lot of research. So the biophotonic scanner is unique because it's the only device in the world that can measure those nutrients in living human tissue. Before the scanner, everybody just had to hope and pray that their supplements were doing something for them. Nobody ever knew if their supplements actually worked or not. And now for the first time ever, you can absolutely know whether they work or not. And that's what's so unique about the scanner. And then we have the Galvanic Spa. The spa is the most amazing marketing tool I've ever seen. In 5 minutes, we can do a half-face demonstration, and we can show people on their own face the difference that spa makes in 5 minutes. It is super powerful. And now the United States FDA just cleared the new facial spa in America as a cleared FDA device. That's the first time that's ever happened, and it's a big-time marketing push for us. So why do we do a half-face demonstration anyway? What's the point? Why do we do only half the face? What do you think? So we can show the difference? Yeah, the difference demonstrated. That's one of our slogans, right? So is that why we do it? No. The reason we only do half the face is so they have to buy it to fix the other half. Actually, we don't force anybody to buy it, but they do beg to get the other half done, that's for sure. Let's go to the next one. So let's talk about TR90. You guys liking TR90? Yes. It's an amazing product. I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time on this tonight, but I want to point out a couple of things that I think are very unique about this product. It contains age-lock science. And I just want to ask you a question first. How many people in this room tonight have DNA? Good, you're awake. Every hand should go up. Unless you are from another planet, right? Maybe you don't have DNA. How many of you here tonight believe that your DNA has changed from the day you were born? Think so? How many say it hasn't changed at all, that your DNA is exactly the same as when you were born? You're right. Yeah, you know, if your DNA was to change, then the police could never find the criminals. So your DNA hasn't changed at all. You've got the exact identical code today that you had the day you were born. Well, if that's true, then how come we change? Why do we look different? How come we age? How come we get older? We get the same code. It all has to do with genetic expression. Okay, it's the way that the environment influences your genes and how they express themselves into the tissue of your body. The code doesn't change, not at all. But what changes is the epigenome. Epi means above. It's just above your DNA. And that's what your environment interacts with. And that's why it changes the way you look, is through your epigenome. Okay? And it's a big process that we won't talk about today. But so why is age-lock so unique? Here's why it's unique. There's two parts. One part is LifeGen in Wisconsin. For 35 years, LifeGen Technologies would take DNA samples from young tissue. So they've got the master database of all the young tissue out there and how how the DNA should express itself in young tissue. Okay, how it needs to look to express itself in a youthful way. And the reason Nu Skin wanted to buy LifeGen is because they have what we call the Rosetta Stone of genetic expression. Okay, it's like owning the Rosetta Stone. It's like you've got the key database. You know what it's supposed to look like. Okay, the second part has to do with a company in the San Francisco Bay Area called Affymetrix. And they have all the patents on a technology called the Affy chip. It's actually an integrated circuit, a microchip, that can actually accept strands of DNA. So you can actually take DNA samples and embed them in this chip. And then you can plug the chip in the reader and use their software, and you can instantly generate a heat map to show the expression of that particular sample. Okay? So those two pieces work together, and those two things were necessary to start to understand genetic expression and how to change it so that it's more youthful in its expression. And that's what LifeGen and age-lock and Nu Skin have done. And nobody else can do it because they don't have the Rosetta Stone. Okay? That's why it's so powerful. And Nu Skin will continue to come up with amazing breakthroughs with age-lock technology. Well, let's talk about weight loss for a moment. TR90 has two parts to it as well. One, it has age-lock components that can help reset your fat genes so your body doesn't store or build fat up as fast. It can actually help your body strip fat off your body by being on this particular product. The second thing it has is a really high-quality, complete protein source that's in this product. And that allows you to actually build lean tissue, which is what burns your calories anyway. The more muscle mass you have on your body, the more calories you're going to burn every single day. okay? So that's something that's really, really interesting when you stop and think about it. Every pound of muscle you have burns 6 calories an hour. Every pound of muscle burns 6 calories an hour. Every pound of fat only burns 2 calories an hour. When you get older, we have a natural tendency to lose muscle tissue as we age. After age 40, we lose 1% of our muscle every year. When you see older people, really old people, they're bent over, their shoulders are bones. They don't have any muscle left on their upper body, on their legs. They get unstable, they tip over, right? This is a loss of muscle. This product is critical that you not only use this product to reshape your body, to strip fat and add muscle so you can burn more calories, right? But also to keep the muscle intact for the rest of your life. So when you stop using this to reshape your body or to lose some weight, you literally should drink one of these shakes every day for the rest of your life. Because what it will do is assist you in maintaining lean tissue in your body, which is the one thing everybody loses as they get older. And that's why you get fatter. You don't change your diet much, but you start burning less and less calories because you're losing muscle. Okay? So it's an important thing to think about. These are just a few people. You can see this lady in side shot and then, a back shot of her as she reshaped her body in 90 days. Next one, we've got some others here too. This is Charlie Patterson, okay? Charlie's one of our great leaders in the U.S., and you can see him after 65 days. Most people would say Charlie's in pretty good shape anyway. But look at that, after 65 days, holy smokes, right? And he certainly is a lot happier. Look at that. Okay. Let's now talk about compensation for just a moment. In our company, there's really like 4 stops, okay? There's four places you really want to get in the compensation plan. The first thing you want to do, the very first thing, is become an executive. When you become an executive in Nu Skin, you have the ability to finally really participate in the plan. Before that, you're really just using product and sharing a little bit of product with people. You're not really engaged in the business of Nu Skin. When you become an executive, then all of a sudden the whole world of Nu Skin starts to open up for you in terms of the business side. So the first stop then is to become a Ruby executive. And to do that, you have to help 4 people on your front line to become an executive. The average time for most people to become Rubies is about a year. From the day they join Nu Skin until the day they get there, typically on average about a year. Excuse me. The average incomes are pretty significant at a Ruby level, about $30,000 a year of income. That's not a bad business, you start this thing part-time on the side, and in a year, you've given it, 2-3 hours a day, maybe 4 or 5 hours on weekends, and you end up adding $30,000 a year to your family budget. Pretty significant. Then the next thing you do is you go get 4 more executives on your front line, and you become what we call a diamond executive in Nu Skin. Diamond executives take about 2.5 to 3 years to achieve that position. They're giving the business consistent effort and work, and the average incomes are more than $120,000 US a year at a diamond position. So it's significant in terms of income. Most people are full-time by then. They were able to fire their boss, and their commute is now to their spare bedroom in their house. And they have an amazing lifestyle that's beginning to develop. They're starting to see the rewards of building a Nu Skin business. The next stop is Blue Diamond. The average Blue Diamond income is really significant, more than $500,000 a year of income. Most people take about 7 years to achieve that in this company. That's the average, okay? And you have to stop and ask yourself, is that even possible where you work today to even make that kind of money? Well, it's not only possible here, but Nu Skin has over 1,000 people that are at that position doing that right now. How many people make that much money where you work right now? 1? 2? Maybe 20 in a huge company? Think about what's happening here. I believe you have better odds here than you have any place in terms of being able to create substantial income. And the 4th stop is called Team Elite. And that's the very top of our compensation plan. And when you become Team Elite, you've kind of joined this really rare club of people that enjoy a lifestyle and a financial security that really few people enjoy in this world. Well, if you look at what we're doing, Nu Skin has what they call the $1 million circle. There's a $1 million circle, there's a $5 million circle, a $10 million circle, a $20 million circle. We have more people that have made $20 million than pretty much all the other companies combined. And that's kind of the proof that this compensation plan really generates very significant money. As of this past May, we had over 1,000 people that had joined Nu Skin, and through their lifetime earnings had achieved more than $1 million of cash compensation. You know, about 3 years ago, we were creating one of these new $1 million circle members every 6 days. And then 2 years ago, it accelerated, and it was every 5 days. And last year, it accelerated, and it was every 4 days. And guess what's happening right now? This year, we're making a new $1 million circle member every 3 days. Woo. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I promise you, the day will come in the next 3 to 5 years when we will make a new millionaire every single day in this company. Ask yourself a question. Where else in the world is that happening? Where else in the world are people generating incomes like this and generating millionaires like this? It's not happening anyplace else, guys. Not like this. All right? So just, take that to heart. Think about where you work right now. Do they post on the bulletin board at your work every 3 days, the new millionaires, where you work now? They don't? Really? So nobody's really making any money where you work then. Maybe you should think about that. Yeah. All right, let's move on. Then lastly, let's talk a little bit about mentorship and support. The great thing about Nu Skin is that we're one big family here. We call it the Nu Skin family. And when you join Nu Skin, you literally join a family. You join people that are willing to help you achieve your goals. Because what we know is we can't achieve our goals unless you get your goals, right? And so what we have is we have this ability to help. There's people who have been down the path before you. You don't have to try to reinvent the wheel or learn it all over again. So what you want to do is you want to become and duplicate and multiply rubies, right? That's what you want to do. And that's what this is all about when you just follow the plan and you follow the system. So with that, I want to switch over and I want to just show you a little bit about my lifestyle for a few minutes and go through a few of those pictures before we wrap up this evening. So maybe we can advance to the first one of those. Yes, we did talk about all 5 points. I hope you got notes on those and wrote down a little bit about each one of them so you can remember them as you review your notes a little later on. Let's go to the first slide of my pictures there, if you guys have that. Let's just skip, okay, there we go. All right, so this is not my helicopter, but it's a friend of mine. And one day he was over near where Clara McDermott lives, and I said, hey, why don't you just take us up for a quick ride so we can take a few pictures? And he was kind enough to do that. How many of you know Clara McDermott? Have you heard her name before? It's probably an amazing thing to think about, but a woman is the #1 distributor in the company. Isn't that great? Go women. Women are powerful. Clara is the #1 distributor. She's the only distributor ever sponsored directly to Nu Skin. And she spoke 2 weeks ago at our America's convention. She's 83 years old. We don't know how many more times she'll be able to speak to us. A portion of her speech just got posted on YouTube, and you should go search for that. I would invite everybody to listen to what she said, both the company and the distributors, because she gave a phenomenal, really description of network marketing and why it works and how it needs to work, both from the company perspective and the distributor perspective. So it was excellent. I would really recommend you all watch that. But anyway, so I had this person take me up in the air so we could take a few photos of her house. So This is her home in southern Utah where she lives. She's got these private soccer fields for her grandchildren and their friends. You know, water's really scarce there, not like here where you guys have plenty of water. Down there it's a desert, so it's hard to have so much green space like this. You can see, if you look closely, that big building there with the gray roof. If you can see that, that's her garage where she keeps her cars. There's a few cars right there. You can see how big they are. All right? Next one. Okay, so there's her house right there. That's the house she lives in, and this is the health club she has attached. So she's got pool, indoor pool, and racquetball courts and gym and everything over there. Let's go to the next one. That's a good shot. So this is, you can see her estate here, right? Can you guys see all these little houses over here? Look at all these little houses. This is where the normal people live that work jobs for somebody else. This is where the network marketers live, right here. You have to decide which one you want to be. When I was a little boy, I used to go up to my grandfather's farm. And it was up in kind of the northern part of Utah. And there we would ride horses, and he had cows and pigs and things. And I just loved the smell of horse poop. I don't know why. But I decided when I was a little boy, I said, I'm going to have my own ranch someday. I'll have my own horses and my own cows, you know. And so that's a goal that I had just kind of remembered in my mind. And I wrote it down, actually, that I wanted to have a ranch. And so after about 5 years in Nu Skin, I was making enough money. I decided to go ranch shopping. And I looked all over until I finally found this particular place right here. So it's called Buckhorn Ranch. And it's up in the mountains of Utah, about an hour and a half from Provo. And it's a beautiful place. So we have 4 houses. This is a house where hunters stay. It's got a nice pond in front of it. Next one. This is another house right on the river. And we have friends that will stay there from time to time. Next one. Next one. This is the new house we built a few years ago. It's got a beautiful interior. Next one, you can see. Yeah, right here. So we've actually done a bunch of trainings there. Next one. That's what it looks like in the winter. Get a lot of snow. Next one. Lots of snow. Next one. So we have this big room here, and we actually have put over 100 distributors in here before for kind of retreats and training where we go up in the mountains and get away from everybody and have a leadership retreat. Next one. You can see a big fireplace there, and it's really cozy in the winter. When we have Christmas, we actually take our snowmobiles and we go cut down our own Christmas tree up on the mountain. We drag it down and we haul it in here and put it in the cabin, and the children decorate it. You know, it's like an amazing Christmas, right? Next. This is one of the lakes on the ranch. We've got 7 lakes. And this is just beautiful, clear water. Some of my daughters there that are paddling and looking at the fish in the water. This comes right out of the snow. The snow melts and it just runs right down through this canyon. Okay, next slide. There's a friend of mine doing fly fishing. He's tying a fly. These are artificial flies, of course, right? Presenting the fly to catch the fish. If you've never done that, we do a lot of fly fishing up there. Next one. A lot of horseback riding, beautiful country, pine trees and so forth, drinking out of the river when you ride the horses. Next one. And we drive these 4-wheelers all over because the ranch is a big place and it's rugged. It's the only way you can get around and see the place, right? Next one. So this is called Buckhorn Knoll. You remember the name of the ranch is Buckhorn Ranch. It's named after this mountain right here. So this mountain is more than 3,000 meters tall. So it's a very tall mountain, and you get up there and you can see forever. And the amazing thing is we own the mountain. That's on the ranch, right? Next slide. So all of that you can see, pretty much, down to these ridge lines, all of this is on the ranch. So it's kind of an amazing thing. You think, well, I just joined this network marketing company just so I could make a few extra dollars. And all of a sudden you have the ability to buy mountains. It's amazing, isn't it? Next slide. Next slide. So there's Cowboy Nathan. That's my wife right there in the red, my wife Joyce. These are some friends. And if you look really close, if you look over their shoulder, way down there is the gate that you came in for the ranch, 5 miles down the road. So this ranch is about 7,000 acres. It's 10% of the size of Singapore. So it's a big place, right? It's fun. Next. We do a lot of rappelling. We jump off the mountains. Next one. This was a neighbor girl. My daughter invited her to come up to the ranch one weekend. And so we hooked her up and we pushed her off the mountain. And her mother saw this picture about 3 weeks later, and she wanted to kill me. What are you doing to my daughter? Why are you pushing her off? Next one. So it's way up there. It's a lot of fun. Next one. So this is a real life cattle drive right here. So those are Black Angus cows. You just thought that was a term, right? No, they're really cows that are Black Angus, right? And those are my daughters back behind that cowboy there that are doing this. This is one of my favorite memories. Every summer we have to take the cows and move them from one canyon to another canyon on the ranch so they have enough feed. And this is the day we do that, about the middle of July every year. I spend the entire month of July at the ranch every year. It's a great place to be. Next one. This is my oldest daughter. That's a few years ago. She's riding bareback there with no saddle, right? Just like the Indians would ride on bareback. They just squeeze them with their legs to hold on. It's really quite hard to do. And next one. The only reason I took this picture is I never saw 3 horses pee all at the same time. Next picture. So we had mud fights, you know. And that's one of my daughters and her friend. Next one. And tractor rides. You know, it's amazing how fast these kids grow up. Michelle and I were just talking about this before we started the meeting. You know, it's amazing how fast they grow up. So my oldest daughter has 4 children already. This one right here has 1 and 1 on the way. This one just got married a year ago. She's not pregnant yet. This one just told us she's getting married February 13th, right? So they're all grown up now. So these pictures are a little bit older. But next one. There's my wife and friend. Next one. Well, look at that. So we actually have a bear up there. And this bear was so hot that summer day he climbed right in the water trough. So we take these cameras that are motion sensor cameras and we put them by the water trough and we can get pictures of all the animals whenever they come by, right? Next one. Look at that hunter with that deer. That's a big deer. Next one. See them? There they are. Going up the mountain. Next one. That's an elk right there. Getting a little drink out of the pond. Next one. Oh, that. Puma. Or cougar, as we call them. Next one. He wasn't very happy. We were taking his picture. We were pretty close. So we have these dogs. You know, the dogs will chase him and they'll tree him. And you get pictures like this. Next one. Look at him. He went to get water too. Next one. So that's the winter. Next one. We do a lot of snowmobiling and have a great time. And that's pretty much the range. Next one. So Nu Skin has allowed us to take our children all over the world. And these are just a few of the places they've been. So this is on a cruise in the Mediterranean one year. That was the first time I saw all my girls dressed up in formal gowns, and I thought, I'm in trouble. I better start working out. I need TR90. I need more muscle. And that's the next one. So there they are in Trafalgar Square in London. Next one. In the canals of Venice, listening to the gondola drivers serenade them. Next one. The Eiffel Tower, next one. At night on the top, right, Paris, next one. On the Great Wall of China, next one. In Hong Kong, right there, in front of a building there in Hong Kong. You know, what's been amazing, just a real quick little story, is my daughter, my youngest daughter, came home from 10th grade a few years ago, and she had her World Civics class. And the first day of the class, they sat down in the room, and the teacher said, we're going to have a great year. What we're going to do is visit all these big capitals and the 7 wonders of the world. You're going to learn all about it. And then the teacher said to the class, has anybody here been to Buckingham Palace? And my daughter raised her hand. She said, yeah, I've been there. And classmates looked at her like, really? You've been there, huh? She goes, yeah. And then he said, has anybody been to the Eiffel Tower? The daughter raised her hand. He said, has anybody been to Machu Picchu? Then he said, surely no one's ever been to the Great Wall of China. And then she said, you know, Dad, I was kind of embarrassed because I'm the only one out of 30 kids who's been to these places. And then she said, it made me really appreciate what you and Mom have done for us. And as a father, it makes you feel really good inside if you can provide these kind of experiences for your children, because I think it makes them different people. It's hard to hate people when you know them, isn't it? And I think the world would be a lot better place if people get to know all different kinds of people, right? Because we're one big family, really. You probably have never been to this place. Has anybody been to the Galapagos Islands? It's like the most remote place on planet Earth, 1,000 miles off the western coast of Ecuador. This is where the newest land is being formed. There's new land being formed by volcanoes every couple of years still, right here. And this is where Charles Darwin went and developed his theory of, what do we call that? Natural selection or evolution, right? The theory of evolution was born here by Charles Darwin. This is a place where you see species of animals that don't exist anywhere else on the planet. It's really a unique place, and they limit the number of visitors. So I took my wife there last year for our 30th wedding anniversary. 30 years, can you imagine? I can't believe she's put up with me that long. Anyway, she loves animals, so look at that little, see that sea otter, see that seal right there? It's really a sea lion is actually what it is. So there's my wife looking at him. This was a great trip, she loved it. Next one, strange birds you never see anyplace else. Next one. And then we just relax, right? This is us on a Team Elite trip. Next one, going to all the best beaches in the world. That's one of the benefits of being a Team Elite, right? You get to go to all these great places. Next one. So I want to show you my sponsor, Craig Tillotson. He loves to build properties, and he has too much time and too much money, so he goes crazy. So this is on the western coast of the state of Washington. He owns 1,000 acres right on the Pacific Ocean. One of the biggest estates on the entire west coast of the United States. Next one. So that's the house that he built for friends and his family to stay in. Next one. Then he built this lighthouse. Look at that. It's really extra bedrooms, but he had to tell the city that he was building a fire tank. So he put a big tank in the very top so he could have fire suppression and put out fires if it happened, but then he put 10 floors of bedrooms and kitchens and stuff below it. So anyway, you can see this on Google Earth. You ought to actually go Google it. You can actually see the tower and you can see it on the internet. Next one. It's a big tower, as you can see. Next one. So this is a place he has in Hawaii, right on the ocean. Next one. You can see, you can sit there in your hammock. Next one, and you can just enjoy it, swim in the pool, whatever. It's kind of hard for our family to go to really nice resorts because we kind of have all the nice resorts in the family. You know? Next one. This is a home he owns outside of Las Vegas, Nevada. This is called Pirates Cove. Anybody been to Pirates Cove? A couple of you have? Yes. Fantastic place, right? So this is 23 bedrooms, 25 bathrooms. This is an amazing property. Next one. You can see he's got a slippery, kind of a water slide right there. Go down the water slide into the pool. Next one. And then there's all the crazy people that show up that jump in. So if you're not very daring, then what you do is you just kind of climb off this rock right here and you jump in. If you want to get a little more brave, you climb up to this platform and you jump in. If you're even more brave, you go up to this one and jump in. If you're crazy, you go up to this one and jump in. Next one. So a little bit of next shot, please. See this guy? He forgot his life back. Right there. Should have been on the program. Next one. One dream I had a long time ago was I wanted to fly my own airplanes. So about 8 years ago, I became a pilot. I just decided, okay, it's time. I need to do it, and I love flying airplanes. So I'm actually the pilot, and I started off with a single-engine airplane, and then I just bought a new one every year because they kept coming up with upgrades, and I was a sucker for the upgrades, so I kept buying them. And then eventually, I bought this one because I just wanted to have a small jet to get around in. So I flew that for 5 years and learned how to fly jet airplanes, and then I just got a new one. Next slide. You can see some of my friends that have been with me in my airplanes. Next one. Number right there. You'll see every time I'm flying someplace. Usually in North America, sometimes Mexico, sometimes Costa Rica, right? So anyway, it's a lot of fun. Really, really enjoy flying. Next slide. Those are some of the views you get at 45,000 feet out of the cockpit when the sun's going around. It's an amazing experience. Next one. You might know that I have decided to invest in real estate. For 10 years, I didn't even look sideways. For 10 years, I had the blinders on. I just did new skin. And I just kept piling up money in my bank account. And pretty soon, there was like $10 million sitting in my bank account, and I had to do something with it. I had to invest it someplace. You already heard me say I don't do the stock market, really. I don't understand stocks. So I come from real estate, so that's when I started putting money back into real estate. And it's become pretty sizable now. So this is a project that we developed. Next one. Beautiful place. Next one. Next one. Next one. So anyway, that's a great project there. This is a new one that we just started. This is on the way to New Skin. If you're driving down the freeway, you'll see this project. So next one. So it's actually almost done now. We've built 4 buildings there, and that yellow area has 2 more buildings in it now. And that one's almost completed. Next one. What's interesting about this park and the other park is that I'm the landlord for 5 other network marketing companies. So if you've heard of a company called Unicity, or a company called Zija, or a company, I don't know, there's a whole bunch of other ones, right? But anyway, they're all tenants in my buildings. It's kind of amazing. There's not that many network marketing companies, where the distributors can make enough money to actually own all the buildings that the other companies have to rent. But New Skin's the one. It's the only one where that happens. Next. Those are 2 new ones. We just finished one, and we're building the other one right now. Next. That's another park. Next. Okay. Just a little bit on my grandkids, quickly. That's the first one. Next slide. So that's what she started doing. She has a real personality. Next one. That's her and her little brother. Next one. Next one. Now, just count these up, if you will count them with me, okay? So this is on my birthday last year. The tradition at our house is when it's your birthday, you have to wear that stupid hat. So that's why that hat's on my head. That's my wife's doing. So count these kids. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. In my arms right there. So those are all from my first daughter, right? So next slide. We teach them how to ride young. Get them on the back of those horses when they're 2. Isn't that amazing? Next one. There he is. He's a funny little guy. Next one. So there he is when he's small. Next one. So there's all 4 of them right there, just last year. Next one. And there's the new boy from the other daughter. We call him our sumo baby. He came out at 10 pounds, so he was pretty big when he was born. A little man-child. Next one. There he is. His name's Archie. Yeah. Anyway, that's a little bit about my family. I just hope you've kind of caught a little bit of a vision tonight about what's possible with this company. I hope if you're here for the first time tonight that you talk to the person that brought you here and tell them, I give up. I'm in. Let's do it. All right? Resistance is futile. So just join us and get going and have as much fun as we're having. Thank you for being here. Good night.
today here are benefited and inspired to achieve a greater heights in this business. For those who attend for our New Skin event for the very first time, you may refer to your friends or family members who brought you here today to know more about New Skin opportunity. I would like to take this opportunity to extend an invitation to every one of you here to join us on our coming Age Law Anti-Aging Expo that will be held on the 7th and 8th this coming Friday and Saturday at KL New Skin Showcase. Can I know how many of you here attended for our last expo? Which is, wow, that's a lot. Can I hear from you? Is that expo excited? Yes. Is that expo exciting? Yes. Yes, right. So, what are you waiting for? Don't miss the opportunity to have a free trial on our products, governing spas, and an exclusive S3 biophotonic scanner, as well as promotions, free gift, and lucky draw that is only available